Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrek. Big shout out to all the iTrek fan that's been tapping in, man. I appreciate you guys. And if this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy TikToks and kind of evaluate for ourselves whether these are fact or fake. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me, smash that subscribe button, and join the iTrek fan, man. Stay up to date with the latest, greatest, interesting, and creepy videos all across the internet. So let's go ahead and jump right into it.
This is you on front of a mirror, and if you were to place a paper on front of you, someone would still be able to see you. But how does the mirror know what's behind the paper? The truth is simple. Light reflects off of you and reaches the mirror before the paper gets in the way. The mirror isn't seeing, it's just reflecting what was already there. It's a trick of light, simple, yet fascinating.
Aha! So there's no magic involved. Okay, so now we know.
You're talking to the wrong guy. Why don't you talk to the administrator at NASA? We're passengers. We're guys going on a flight.
This is when I had a sit-down interview with him, and I showed him the footage which he helped photograph. The fake footage of being halfway to the moon. He says, "How did you get this? I'm going to become a famous person for having discovered this. What an ego I must have. So how could I become famous if I'm wrong?" And then he says that he was just a passenger, that him and Neil Armstrong were only passengers. I need to talk to the administrator of NASA. Well, I thought they were pilots piloting the vehicle so all he did was orbit for 8 days. That's why he was a passenger. So he basically admitted twice that I was correct. And when he realized that, he threatened to sue me if I showed those remarks to anybody.
If you show this publicly, you're open for a lawsuit. Okay?
Which is pretty wild because he's the one parading on every news outlet that it was all fake. So that is pretty surprising.
Because there is a global experiment performed on 1.6 billion people across 70 countries twice a year. And it's called daylight savings time. Now, in the spring, when we lose 1 hour of sleep, we see a subsequent 24% increase in heart attacks that following day.
You walk into a room and suddenly you forget why. This happens because of something called the doorway effect. Your brain treats doorways like mental reset buttons. When you cross one, it clears old info to make space for new surroundings. It's the same reason you never forget what you were doing if you stay in the same place. Your brain keeps the context, but the moment you step through a door, boom, memory wiped. Next time it happens, just walk back into the first room. Your brain might give you the answer.
Oh! Wow! That's a ship! I swear to God, that's a ship! Oh! Wow! That's a ship! I swear to God, that's a ship!
It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. There's no reflection, there's no anything, it's just coming down. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's not moving, it's just sitting perfectly still, right above the clouds. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know.
Reason?
Say hi, Leah, so people know it's real. Hi. It's not a reflection from a light or anything.
Yeah, that definitely was pretty odd. There wasn't any manufactured lights going on right there, right? But I definitely wouldn't be staring at it for too long, right? I'd probably get to where I was going.
Forces and protecting the population and minimizing civilian casualties have long been a cornerstone of the counterinsurgency doctrine. Civilian casualties have long been a cornerstone of the counterinsurgency.
Reptile demons dominate the demonic world. and they are everywhere. All demons are pure energy, negative energy. And so energy is always morphing, moving, flowing. And so the reptile demon that was walking down this sidewalk in this video was attracting negative energy and leaving negative energy behind, because it is negative energy to begin with. Earth is a low vibrational planet. This is why demons are able to roam around Earth with no problem. That's why it appeared like it was leaving little faces behind as it was walking. And because Earth is a low vibrational planet, this is why human souls cannot reside here on Earth without a body, because the human soul is high vibrational. Unless a human soul has been turned into a demon, then it can reside on Earth in the form of a demon. So those mediums and psychics who claim that they're talking to a dead loved one, they're not. It is a demon. This reptile entity was walking down the street looking for a house or a person to attach themselves to. So if you ever go outside at night and you start recording, the trees or the streets, and the video starts looking fuzzy, stagnant, blurry, that means that area has a lot of negative energy, entities. Sometimes when you go into someone's house and you feel stagnant energy, that means that house is full of demons. So basically this reptile is negative energy walking amongst negative energy, attracting negative energy and leaving behind negative energy, because it is negative energy. That's what caused the trail of demon faces.
Hey, that got creepy real fast.
Religious. Are you religious? Do you believe in something? Anything?
Yeah, believe in me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you don't believe in anything else? In God, or as in, is there something like that?
Well, you can separate God from religion, which is what I do. I believe in God. I believe in me. Same person.
Why did the ancient Egyptians have stones shaped like fingers? Quite a few of you have DM'd me to ask me this question. So, here's the answer. These are known as healing fingers, and the ancient Egyptians believed that they had a magical power, primarily connected to healing. And if you're wondering, why do they kind of look familiar? Where have I seen this before? It is possible that the origins of that gesture has come from ancient Egypt, but we find the healing finger amulet primarily located with mummies, usually on the left side of the torso where the incision was made to remove the organs. The ancient Egyptians would place this amulet there in the hope that its magical powers would help heal the wound and restore the body to its fullness once again. And of course with the hope that the body would be complete and well, ready for the afterlife.
Kozareb proved the existence of a faster-than-light flow of time beyond electromagnetism and gravity, which also unites past, present, and future. Using Kozareb's mirrors, a device that reflects thought energy back to the center while shielding subjects from Earth's electromagnetic field, subjects access timeless states and heightened consciousness, significantly enhancing their remote viewing capabilities. Dr. Trofimov concluded that Earth's electromagnetic field acts as the veil, which filters time down to our everyday Newtonian reality, enabling us to have the human experience of linear time. In the absence of this field, we have access to an instantaneous locality that underlies our reality. They found that once this state is accessed, it permanently enhances consciousness. Trofimov predicts that as Earth's magnetic field weakens, humanity will experience a mass awakening of latent psychic abilities. Follow me for more hidden knowledge.
The fact that everything Elon just said and everything his Doge team just said is real is mind-blowing to me. Watch this.
The ways that the government is defrauded is that the computer systems don't talk to each other. So if the computer systems don't talk to each other, you can exploit that gap. For example, there were over $300 million of Small Business Administration loans that has been given out to people under the age of 11.
Well, actually, to add to it, it's 300 million under the age of 11 and over 300 million to over the age of 120.
And you can stop it? I mean,
well, we are stopping it.
You are stopping it.
The reason this is happening is because the two systems are not talking to each other.
Yes.
Right? And so you don't know at the Small Business Administration that you're giving a loan to a 9-month-old because you're not cross-referencing that with the Social Security Administration data that has birth dates.
Hey, go ahead and cut the check.
Happened back. No sugarcoated, ain't no nothing in. It ain't not one human being that's not gonna check in. Let me give you on a bigger scale. The United States of America and all these countries have what is called airspace. Yeah. If you invade their airspace with a plane, they consider that an act of war. If you want to come in their airspace, you're gonna check in. You can choose not to, and it's gonna be a problem. If dudes come and you move it in a certain way, if you choose not to check in, you suffer the consequences. You feel like you got something that's bigger than what's there. And because I do it, it's foreign to me to hear people speak how I'm not going to check in, but then that's the ignorant dude, because that's the dude who wants the internet fame. Any real dude that's ever really been in LA, he checked in.
We're not alone. We've never been alone. We are apparently part of an infinite universe filled with intelligent life. I find that exciting. It doesn't frighten me. The SHAPE study concluded in '64 that if they, whoever they were malevolent or hostile, that they could have taken this planet and cleaned it up and eliminated us, turned us into dog food or whatever, a long, long time ago. That the historical evidence indicates that they've been with us a long time, and I've concluded that we had what I like to call an intimate interrelationship with at least one of those groups, the group that looks exactly like we do. And that point is I don't like the word alien. I don't think the term alien is appropriate at all here. I like to refer to them as family. We're related to them. I think they had a hand in our being here. And I think the time has come where we're about to meet our extended family. It's going to be very soon. And the people are not ready. And one of the reasons I do speak out so bluntly and so openly is if in some small way I can help people get prepared for this. Because I believe that this reality, once we have accepted it and understood it and gone beyond the fear, will bring about an expansion of consciousness in the human race that will truly help us and prepare us to go out there and take our rightful place in that infinite community of life.
Bruh, I'm so hungry I could eat a damn dog.
You must never assume, because when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
And there goes the highlight lesson of the day.
So all we have is a metal plate, and we sprinkle on some sand. What you see here is completely formless. In other words, there's no pattern at all. Then we take a violin bow, and we're going to play the plate with the violin bow. You see a beautiful star appears on the plate. Now, that pattern that forms is basically the sound made visible, and it's kind of magic. And now what happens when we make this plate vibrate from an electronic piano? Isn't that neat?
As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland.
President Donald Trump has announced the Golden Dome, an ambitious initiative to develop a nationwide American missile defense shield capable of intercepting ballistic, cruise, and hypersonic missiles before they strike any U.S. territory. This ambitious project marks a significant shift in America's military strategy, aiming to counter emerging threats from China, Russia, and other adversaries. But unlike the Iron Dome, which protects a small territory, covering the entire U.S. would require an unprecedented network of land, sea, and space-based interceptors. This raises questions about feasibility. Can such a system be deployed effectively across a landmass of this size? Experts estimate a budget in the hundreds of billions, potentially rivaling the Manhattan Project or the Strategic Defense Initiative of the Cold War. But truly impenetrable defense remains theoretically unattainable, as adversaries can deploy countermeasures such as saturation strikes and decoy systems. Trump's Golden Dome represents a high-risk, high-reward shift in U.S. defense policy. If realized, it could establish a new paradigm in missile deterrence, but its financial, technological, and diplomatic challenges remain immense. Is this the next strategic defense initiative or just political rhetoric? Time will tell.
Hey, talk about feeling safe. Let's go ahead and put that thing up, man. Let me know what you think.
Now he will show us something. Normal sound. No. No. No.
Hey, they looked like they were in the middle of the desert where there was no reason for those rocks to sound like they were hollow. That's pretty wild.
Companies are suffering because I'm in the government. You just pointed that out a moment ago.
Right.
Do you think it helps sales if dealerships are being firebombed? Of course not. And Tesla customers are being intimidated all over the country and all over Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Does that help Tesla? I mean, you had Tim Waltz, who's a huge jerk, running around on stage with the Tesla stock price where the stock price had gone in half, and he was overjoyed. What an evil thing to do! What a creep! What a jerk! Like who derives joy from that? And it was pointed out to him that actually, Minnesota State Pension Fund is a major investor in Tesla. But he didn't care. He was so overjoyed by Tesla stock going in half. Does that sound like a good person to you? I don't think so.
Everybody talks about psychopaths as if they're bad people. I don't think they are, and none of them chose to be that way. And most psychopaths don't even know that they're psychopaths. They just think we're all the same. They think we do what they do. Those people will memorize, like a library card catalog, human emotions and facial expressions and words and phrases and everything that they will ever need to survive in the world and to rise up to the top of leadership. All psychopathy starts with separation. All of it. Everything. So if you just think of ego, me having an ego means I'm separate from Danny. But if you take ego way to the top, that's where you get psychopathy. You have psychopath behavior there. It's just centralized. Everything is different from me. There's no way out. There's no counseling. There's no therapy. There's no psychedelic journey that you can go on and reverse some of that stuff.
Interesting. So there's this physicist, Miguel Alcubierre, and he conceived the calculations for a theoretical ship that could travel faster than the speed of light.
That a human being could sit inside of?
Yes. He's apparently figured out the equations to make it successful.
Okay.
This is where it gets trippy. Physics say you can't travel faster than the speed of light, but this ship, it stays still. In the universe, the cosmos travels past it.
How does that make sense?
So it creates its own space-time bubble, a gravitational wave making a machine that compresses the ocean of space-time in front of it and expands that ocean in its wake.
What?
With this equation, they said that you can travel 6 trillion miles in the blink of an eye because the cosmos, the universe, galaxies are moving that fast.
6 trillion miles.
In a blink of an eye.
Are you kidding me?
No!
Are we sure he did any math on this, or he just used his imagination and said, let's try it?
Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about, so it has to be somewhat legit.
Bro, I'm so hungry I could eat a damn dog.
Did you know that you can grow your teeth back? Yes, and I don't mean baby teeth.
you could grow your adult teeth back after you've lost them. What? How? Scientists in Japan found out that the reason adults can grow their teeth back is because of a protein called USAG1 that blocks teeth from growing. So these scientists came up with a chemical that stops USAG1 from being produced. They tested that chemical on animals, and then something crazy happened. The animals started to grow their teeth again even after they lost them. The research is still in its early stages, but there's hope for a world where humans can grow their teeth back even as adults. But in the meantime, don't forget to floss, alright?
Now that's pretty cool. A whole lot of people get a second chance for a mouthful of pearly whites. Very dope.
Silent treatment is what an immature adult does when they don't know how to process their emotions or ask for what they need in a healthy and respectful manner. So instead, they stop talking. They pretend nothing's wrong, and often they ignore you. And if you've ever been on the receiving end of the silent treatment from a friend, a family member, a coworker, it's painful. And your immediate instinct is to try to figure out, okay, what did you do wrong?
I definitely don't try to figure anything out. That person will talk whenever they're ready to.
You cannot be affected positively or negatively by anyone. You are your own reality. Whatever you experience is being experienced made out of your own energy because you have agreed to match a frequency that they may be offering to you. But they can't affect you directly. You have to affect yourself because you have a belief that says, I should match your frequency for some reason or another, positively or negatively. You're only ever, always experiencing your own energy. You cannot experience anyone else's. You are your own reality with its own energy, and you decide how you will experience that energy by your belief saying, I want to match or not match this particular frequency that this other person is offering me. I will match it or I won't for my own reasons. But no matter what those reasons are, positive or negative, you are always only experiencing your own energy and can change it like that.
Tesla will launch its robo-taxi service commercially in Austin, Texas in June. We think that robo-taxis will account for 90% of the value of the company in 5 years. And we're on record saying we believe in 5 years the stock will hit $2,600. And that's not even including humanoid robots, which are now moving into the Tesla ecosystem much faster than even we expected. We're looking at the BYD cars, and they are fabulous in terms of, from what we can see, fit, finish, design. If you look at metrics like range and power for a given price, Tesla is still very competitive, if not the most competitive, depending on the model of car. So we think Tesla and BYD are both in the lead from an EV point of view alone. If you layer in robo-taxi, of course, BYD is not seizing the moment there, at least not yet.
Yeah, that robo-taxi is definitely going to be the downfall of Uber and Lyft. Literally.
Imagine a world where our brain cells are grown on silicon chips. Sounds like sci-fi, right? But we're kind of on our way. Our brain cells naturally communicate with each other using electrical impulses. And researchers have found a way to grow clusters of our human brain cells and then place them on top of silicon semiconductors. They then connect this device to a computer and test what sort of tricks or tasks these living human brain cells perform. Biology and synthetic hardware merge. Now, this type of deep tech is only just starting. It's called biocomputing, or perhaps organic computing, or even wetware. Cue all sorts of questions. What can actual brain neurons do for modern day computing? What can living human cells do that man-made hardware can't? And will we one day live in a world where some of our machines are both living and artificial? Watch our show, Primer, on Bloomberg Originals to find out more.
Yeah, it is. It's a shadow because it's going through the clouds.
That is so weird.
That is so cool. I've never seen that. The sun must be just a perfect...
Over time, our facial expressions etch onto the face. Usually by the time we're like 16, 17, So it's not like old people wrinkles. Like if someone's seeking social approval their whole life, this is how we seek approval from other people.
That's why I have the lines on my forehead.
Yeah, because I'm seeing a social person. You see a psychopath? Blank forehead.
Beautiful. Wrinkle-free.
Yes. It looks like Botox in a psychopath. You see a person that spent their whole life super happy and in full enjoyment. You're going to see these crow's feet here from smiling all the time.
On the side of the eyes.
Yeah. You see somebody who's been depressed or angry. You're going to see this muscle right here forms these two wrinkles. This is called the glabella. It forms these two wrinkles. When somebody's depressed, you see it on the face. But skepticism makes us squeeze the lower eyelid up like this. So the less skeptical someone has spent their lifetime, this is my theory. So a grain of salt. The more suggestible that person is.
Jackie Gleason and Nixon were drinking, and Nixon said, "You want to see some fucking aliens?" They get on Air Force One and they fly to some Air Force base, and they go to a place where they have a crashed UFO and they have biological beings that are in freezers. And Jackie Gleason sees this. And Jackie Gleason, after that, has a house built in upstate New York that looks like a UFO. He became obsessed with UFOs after that.
Why is it illegal for us to talk to dolphins? Maybe they're seeing shit under the oceans that is related to aliens. There could be cities under there that we are unaware of. And if the dolphins could talk to us or telepathically show us what's down there, it would be a game changer. I think that's totally a possibility.
Exactly.
Speaking of sea life, let's wade even deeper into conspiratorial waters.
Let's.
There's a TikTok trend making its rounds claiming that elite dinner parties are serving up mermaid meat. This story is making waves on TikTok and Reddit. Rumors are swirling that the ultra-wealthy elite are hosting clandestine dinner parties where the main course is none other than mermaid.
I wonder why they put that law in place for dolphins, right? Yeah, if you know something I don't, definitely let me know.
This is one of the coolest solar flares I've seen in a long time. And I'm a solar astrophysicist, so I spend a lot of time looking at flares. This is a solar flare from yesterday, and it clocked in at the X1 level. X is the highest class of solar flare, so X1 is like the bottom of that highest class. This is a movie just there of the solar flare in ultraviolet light, extreme ultraviolet light. We can't see these wavelengths with our eyes. And all a solar flare is a conversion of energy from magnetic fields in the sun's atmosphere to light, the acceleration of particles and the heating of plasma. But what makes this flare special isn't the flare itself, it's what comes along with the flare. See, in about half of flare cases, we get something like this. That is not the flare, that is a coronal mass ejection, or the ejection of mass from the sun's atmosphere, which we call the corona. Zooming out here, we get a wider view of this. You can see just how large these structures are. This is the view from a different telescope. And the region that caused this eruption on the sun is actually going to rotate to face Earth in the next week or so. So if we get another eruption like this, which we may well do, we could be due for another showing of the northern lights, similar to the large ones we saw last year.
That phone call between Diddy and Kanye.
Well, number one, it's illegal. You're not allowed to record things from the jail.
Okay, let's start there.
Hell no. No issue there that, Kanye and Diddy just violated the law.
Now that was absolutely incredible. I couldn't believe that we were hearing Diddy's voice on the other line from jail.
I don't know if this was something that was pre-planned by Diddy and Kanye and the people. It could have been. I have no idea. But it doesn't sound good. And, especially the source, Kanye isn't the pillar of the community right now. So I don't see that him being in Diddy's corner is going to help Diddy in any way.
Imagine by the end of that trial, we found out that Diddy didn't do what we thought Diddy did.
And I found out that the same things can happen to two different people. One gets rich and one stays poor. It's because it's not what happened. It's not what happens, it's what you do. Two men wake up one morning, there's a rainstorm on. One of them looks out his window, sees the rainstorm, and he says, "Wow, what a storm. With weather like this, they can't expect you to go out and make sales." He stays home. Same morning, the other guy looks out his window, sees the same storm, says, "Wow, what a storm." But he says, "You know what, with weather like this, what a great day to go out and make sales. Most everybody will probably be home." especially the salesman. Starting tomorrow, what are you going to do that'll make a change in your life's direction? Now see, if you don't do something starting tomorrow that'll make a difference, guess what? It's gonna be the same. Unless you, major key, tomorrow, change it all. Or change a little, or don't change. It's choice time. You can do whatever you want. But it's nice to know any day you wish you can change your whole life.
Get up and go get it. It's all on you.
Oh, now we have, you see the light? Behind it, the red light?
Oh, that's what I was telling you. What the is that? I'm gonna step back. It's gonna zap us.
Oh my God. Hey, amiga.
Hey.
Amiga, you wanna see? You see that?
What the hell is that? Holy shit! What the fuck? I'm gonna step.
I mean, you can literally take a photograph of your blood work, like the page, upload from your phone, upload that to Grok, and it will tell you if there's it'll understand what all the data results are, and tell you if there's something wrong.
Psychopaths cannot be rehabilitated. There is nothing currently that works to treat them or rehabilitate them. Too many people just don't understand psychopathy. And the offenders, the psychopaths, can be very charming, very plausible, very manipulative, very coercively controlling. The thing with psychopaths is that they will mimic back any emotion. They will tell you whatever you want to hear. They will tick those boxes. They're chameleon-esque. So how do you know it's genuine? And yet there are parole boards probably happening now deciding to release someone because they've said all the right things, they've ticked all the right boxes. But that still doesn't make them safe because the mind is the problem. So no, they can't be. Currently, present day, they cannot be rehabilitated and they are not safe to be released. Psychologists who work within the settings where there are psychopaths like Levi Belfield, they would argue that we just haven't found what works. So we shouldn't stop trying to find what works. But how do we teach empathy? How do we teach compassion?
The creepy thing about that is it seems like a psychopath is a complete chameleon. So reading facial expressions and body language isn't going to really help you too much to decipher who you're dealing with. It's pretty crazy.
Magicians are notoriously secretive about their methods. So, like, how much do they teach you in books?
Books in magic have a lot, but the good stuff is hard to come across. It's not in books.
How old are the books? Like, what's the oldest magic book?
Well, the first one was like, I think it was called Discovery of Witchcraft from like 1584 or something like that. And a guy wrote all these secrets of methods that like witches were using and they were being burned alive. So he's like, here, this is how they're doing it. It's tricks. You got to stop killing the witches. And then they destroyed all the copies of that book, but some survived. And that book has incredible secrets that I've done on my TV shows. Like there's one where you take a dead fly and bring it back to life. That's written up from 1584. Wow. I believe it's 1584.
During the entirety of the time I interacted with dark occultists, they referred to the police and military only according to these two terms. They called them our dogs and our pets. Nothing else, no other term was ever used. I never heard them say the word police, ever. Ever. They called them our dogs. And for a long time, I had no idea what the hell they were talking about. It was like, I'm like, what are these people talking about, our dogs? What dogs? And then I finally made the connection. Whoa, they're talking about the police. They call the police their dogs. And it's not like, yo dog, you know, you're my boy. It's not street lingo. They're calling them animals.
That's definitely wild. I'm putting that whole interview in the members only section, man. It's pretty crazy.
The treaty stated, the aliens would not interfere in our affairs and we would not interfere in theirs. We were particularly interested that they do not interfere with anything that would affect our future, which has been violated. We would keep their presence on Earth a secret. They would furnish us with advanced technology and would help us in our technological development. They would not make any treaty with any other Earth nation. They could abduct humans on a limited and periodic basis for the purpose of medical examination and monitoring of our development, with the stipulation that the humans would not be harmed, would be returned to their point of abduction, that the humans would have no memory of the event, and that the alien nation would furnish MJ-12 with a list of all human contacts and abductees on a regularly scheduled basis. And this is not being done. It was agreed that each nation would receive the ambassador of the other for as long as the treaty remained in force. It was further agreed that the alien nation and the United States would exchange 16 personnel each to the other with the purpose of learning each of the other. The alien guests would remain on Earth and the human guests would travel to the alien point of origin for a specified period of time, then return, at which point a reverse exchange would be made. I have no knowledge whatsoever of what happened to those original 16 humans who left the Earth with the aliens. It was also agreed that bases would be constructed underground for the use of the alien nation, and that 2 bases would be constructed for the joint use of the alien nation and the United States government. The base at Dulce is one, the base at S4 in the area known as Area 51 or Dreamland is the second. Exchange of technology would take place in the jointly occupied bases. These alien bases would be constructed under Indian reservations in the 4 corners of Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona, and one would be constructed in Nevada in the area known as S4, located approximately 7 miles south of the western border of Area 51, otherwise known as Dreamland. All alien areas are under complete control of the Naval Department, and all personnel who work in these complexes receive their checks from the Navy. Construction of the bases began immediately, but progress was slow until large amounts of money were made available in 1957, and in the meantime, work continued on the Yellow Book with the information derived from the guests.
So in that report, I definitely noticed a few things that were red flags in my view, right? The 16 people that left to the other planet, we haven't heard from them since. And they stopped reporting on all the people that they were abducting. So there's a lot of weird things going on, according to what he just reported on.
What does it mean in the Bible where Jesus says 3 days and 3 nights?
What if we just wake up and see the world consumed by absolute darkness? No sun, no stars, just an endless void. It may seem impossible, but an ancient biblical prophecy warns that it could become reality. Are we about to witness the 3 horrifying days of darkness? Let's find out. One of the scariest moments in the Bible is the 9th plague of Egypt, found in Exodus 10:21-29. For 3 days, deep darkness covered the land, so thick it could be felt. The whole nation was trapped in pitch black, unable to see or move freely. But why did God send this plague? In the Bible, darkness often stands for judgment and separation from God. It shows his displeasure and the result of ignoring him. Have you ever been in complete darkness? It can be scary and lonely. Now, imagine an entire nation feeling that fear for days. The Egyptians weren't just in the dark, they were facing a powerful message. This wasn't a normal blackout. The Bible says it was a darkness that could be felt. Think of a heavy, suffocating void pressing against you. This event was beyond human understanding. It was supernatural. But this darkness had a deeper meaning. It was a challenge to one of Egypt's greatest gods, Ra, the sun god. Egyptians believed he controlled light and order. By covering Egypt in darkness, God was making a statement that, "Your sun god is powerless. I alone control light and darkness." This wasn't just about power, it was about truth. Egypt had many gods, but the God of Israel was showing he ruled over all. Yet while Egypt sat in darkness, the Israelites had light in their homes. This wasn't a coincidence, it was a message. God was showing he judges but also protects those who trust him. Even in the darkest moments, he provides light. That's a comforting thought, isn't it? No matter how dark the world gets, God can still shine a path for those who follow him. But why did God make this distinction? It wasn't favoritism. He was revealing his nature to both the Egyptians and the Israelites. He wanted them to see that he wasn't like the false gods of Egypt. He had the power to bring both justice and mercy.
Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books. Appreciate you guys for stopping by yet again and watching another one with me. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me, smash that subscribe button, join the iTrack fam, stay up to date with the latest, greatest, interesting, and creepy videos all across the internet, and I will definitely catch you on the next one.